So again, welcome to Provision ISR webinar. I'm going to share my screen and let's start. Okay. So let's talk about who is a Provision ISR a little bit, so you can get familiar a little bit. So Provision ISR founded in 2006. Provision ISR basically was born in Israel, initially to the Israeli market, but quite fast we moved into the international market. And today, Provision ISR considered to be one of the fastest growing brands in the world. The idea is to bring Israeli know-how, Israeli technology, and however to produce the product in China in order to be competitive on the market, and by that achieving a very nice opportunity to our partners. Main office, R&D, support, marketing, and sales office are based in Israel. Production unit, again, like I said, to be competitive on this very, very competitive market. So all the production facilities are based in China. We have 3 logistic warehouses around the world to serve our direct distribution partner. We have one in China to serve mostly Asia and Australia. We have one in Netherlands to serve Europe. We have one in Panama to serve North and South America. South Africa market is buying directly from our China office, from our China warehouse. That's why you usually get the new product much faster than everyone else. Today, Provision ISR serve more than 40 countries, different continents. Almost in every one of those countries, we have an exclusive partner. We'll talk about it later, about business philosophy of Provision ISR. But like I said, almost in every one of those countries, we have one exclusive partner, like High-Tech Security, as you know, in South Africa. So a little bit about why choosing Provision ISR. So I think the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that it's an Israeli brand. We don't think that we are very unique in many things, but when it comes to security, I think we gain enough experience, not from the good point of view, but still, we managed to get enough experience and enough know-how. And what Provision ISR is always trying to do is to take high-end features that used to belong to the high-end market and bring it to your everyday installation in a very easy way to do it. In a graphical way, in an easy way, that the interface will be easy, that it will be available in the app, and much more. We will see it very soon in some of the slides we're going to talk about. Also, let's not forget that one of the key features that we always try to do is emphasize on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is part of the CCTV market today. Probably for the veterans of you that have been to this market more than a few years, know that there is no one company that hasn't suffered from cyber attack. Not related only to CCTV, but even bigger companies such as Amazon and more. But definitely CCTV products are very vulnerable for cyber attacks, and Provision ISR is putting a lot of efforts in standing with the highest standards of cybersecurity and with the standard of data protection, GDPR in Europe mostly, and we follow those regulations to protect the data, how we store the images, how we store the footage, how we store the database of faces, who can have access, and more and more and more. And mostly when it comes to penetrating the product, we invest a lot into this. Point number 2, choose what's best for you. One of the things that we all aware of in this market is the vast amount of product available for you. When we look at what's going on in other brands, competitive brands, sometimes for the installers, it's almost impossible to know what is the difference between one 2-megapixel camera to a different 2-megapixel camera. I can see in a different, in one of our competitor, 2-megapixel camera, IP fixed lens, 10 different models. What is the difference between them? A small feature that's almost impossible to understand what it is, but price gaps, we can find different ones. So what Provision is always trying to do is try to make it easy for you, the installer, to understand what is the product that Provision ISR is selling. So you can know how to choose the right product for you. So we start with the fact that we have a name for every series and a logo for every series, and those icons will follow those series everywhere they go. For example, let's talk about IP camera range, for example. So we have a series called S. S for simple. S series, it's for a simple camera, IP camera, no high-end analytic, no face recognition, just a good IP camera for the best competitive price I can get. Now that symbol, that S symbol, will follow this model everywhere it goes, whether it's on the website, the catalogs, the leaflets, even down to the package itself. When you take the package of the product, you don't need to look at the code or the model of the product to understand what this product is. I can just have to see the icon. That's it. I know it's an A-side camera. Ah, okay, it doesn't have analytic. It doesn't have face recognition. It's just good IP camera at good price. And so on and so on. This is what we try to do always, to help the installer choose what's best for him, and not only one we want to push you. Next point, improve your CCTV knowledge. Guys, we live in a CCTV market. For those of you that do also alarm or access control or any other security elements, know that CCTV is the fastest moving market in the security industry. Every 6 months, there is a new technology. Every year, a product line is changed completely. New models, new resolution, new features, and so on. In such kind of an industry, knowledge is the key word. If you don't know what's going on and what changes, you stay out of the game. We see it as our responsibility to transfer that knowledge all the way from us through our supply chain down to you, to the installer. Together with our local partners, I know that High-Tech Security is conducting a lot of seminars all year long, whether it's COVID time or not. They do a lot of seminars, a lot of road shows in all of their branches. This is the way to do it. It's your responsibility to come to those kind of seminars, to learn, especially in the coming years. Because unlike the past, when most of the changes were hardware changes, meaning we went from HD to IP, we are going from 2 megapixel to 4 megapixel, improvement of housings and cameras. But in the next following years, the main changes are going to be software changes, analytic, face recognition, and there's more knowledge to be learned here. It's your responsibility to come and learn and ask for those knowledges, for those experience from high-tech agents or from high-tech technical support. We have available for you tons of material from movies, tutorial movies, educational movies, presentations, everything you want in order to improve your knowledge. So please take advantage of it. Next point is full compatibility with other brands. I'm going to divide this topic into 2 parts, into HD cameras or HD devices and IP market. When we talk about HD, analog cameras, so today, of course, all of Provision ISR HD camera, what you call 4-in-1. You, the installer, can choose the output of the camera, whether it's a TVI, CVI, analog, AHD, any type of signal that you want from the camera can give you. And the way to do it is not with a joystick and the cable, which gets stuck many times and get break many times, and it's very hard to put it in the junction box. Instead of that, we have a simple dip switch, waterproof dip switch, that you, the installer, can choose the output and connect it to any one of our competitor DVRs. When it comes to our DVRs, any one of our DVRs can automatically recognize which camera you connect to the channel. Whether you bought it in Hikvision or Dawa or an old analog camera, it doesn't matter what signal the camera is, the DVR will know to recognize it automatically. This is when it comes to the DVRs. When it comes to the IP market, so first of all our Provision ISR IP cameras are fully ONVIF certified down to the latest version of ONVIF. I don't know if you know, but ONVIF banned the two major players in this market. Both Hikvision and Dawa are banned from ONVIF protocols. New products that they are launching right now are not certified by ONVIF anymore. This is part of the USA ban of Hikvision and Dawa, and many of the US companies, such as ONVIF, banned those brands as well. Provision ISR, of course, is very proud to work with ONVIF. We are fully ONVIF certified. We also do a lot of integration with third-party software, such as VMSs, whether it's Genetec, Milestone, ONSSI, and many other VMS software, and also a lot of hardware equipment, such as access control, home automation, and so on. If you need more information about it, contact your sales agent. He will know much more information about it. If we still didn't compatible with it, of course, we'll do the effort to do it as fast as possible for any one of your projects. Next point I would like to talk about is simple, intuitive software and application. Like I said in the beginning, one of the things that we put most of our investment in is to take high-end features that used to belong to the high-end market. Features that we used to see in airports and high-end security premises, and bring it to your everyday installation. But to make sure that it will be easy for the user to handle, that the interface will be easy for him to handle, that everything that inside the software will make sense, whether it's the local software, the remote software, the application, whatever it is, to make sure that those high-end features are there and in an easy way. I'm not going to show you some of the built-in movies that we have here because you're going to have a training in a minute, and we're going to show you face recognition, how to manage it from the app, and how to manage your database, and how easy the software can be if you know how to play with it, but it makes sense a lot. So this is when it comes to the software itself. Keep in mind that we also attentive to the latest technology trends. When it comes to social network sharing, we live in a social network world. So we did a lot of integration with all the network sharing apps that you have on your phone to integrate it directly from the app and to upload to Facebook or to LinkedIn or to WhatsApp, QR codes, video clips that you took from the app, and many more. We implemented a virtual reality feature that we took from the gaming industry into our fisheye cameras. We will show it to you today, later today, when we exhibit fisheye features. Point number 7 is brand philosophy. We, as Provision ISR, respect the chain that we see here. Unfortunately, in the last few years, this chain has been broken a lot, thanks to our competitors that are sometimes selling directly to the end user or such. We believe that protecting that chain is protecting the installers, is protecting the distributors. This is why Provision ISR is working with almost in all of the countries that we work with one exclusive partner. This is why we are against online sales. You will not find Provision ISR product online as far as we know, and every time we do, we fight it like hell. We believe it's damaging the market dramatically, and we are against it. We are in favor of having one partner, working together with him, promoting the brand in the market, educating the installers in the market, and to make sure that the war and the price will not reach a place that the installer doesn't make profit on the product. Because at the end of the day, this is what we're all here for. Last but not least, one-stop shop, availability of accessories specifically designed for CCTV. Provision ISR believe in a one-stop solution. Today, Provision ISR is offering to you almost everything you need for an installation, whether it's cameras or NVR or DVRs, of course, but also other accessories such as connectors and UTP balloons and PoE accessories and more, and monitors and power supply and everything you want. We always try to take any product that we want to put in our product line. It has to have a few very common goals. One, it needs to stand with the standard of Provision ISR. As you know, 3 years warranty in South Africa. And so it needs to stand with the standard of the quality standard of Provision ISR. Two, it needs to be competitive. Even if we are not the manufacturer of it, such as connector, we still need to make sure that the price will be competitive to the other manufacturers. And we can because of the big quantities that we have. And point number three is to make sure that any product that we put in have some advantage, that brings some advantage to the CCTV installation. For example, PoE market, we entered into the PoE switch market about 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. One of the features that we added into the PoE switch is what we call CCTV mode. CCTV mode basically, just to give you in a nutshell, we talked about knowledge sharing before. So in a nutshell, CCTV mode gives you the ability to extend your PoE distance from your normal 80, 100 meter to almost 250, 300 meter. And also improve the security of your system in general. So this is a simple switch that you have on your PoE switch from Provision ISR, that when you turn it on, you're in CCTV mode. You switch the PoE switch from a regular PoE switch to a CCTV mode switch, and you enjoy new benefits that are good for CCTV, not good for computers, but PoE switch designed for CCTV need to have CCTV standards. That's it from my end. I hope you learned a little bit more about who is Provision ISR. Clyde, if you have something to add right now, this is the minute. If not, we will give the stage to David.
Yeah, thank you, Amnon. That was really informative. Sorry for earlier, my computer crashed. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. We go straight into what we joined for the training, to gain the knowledge and understand that Provision ISR has a very, very advanced solution like human detection and facial recognition and the app, which is very, very, very unique, which David will go through and show you. As Amnon explained, we'll have all the questions at the end, so please bear with us and write the questions and we'll answer all the questions. But David, the floor is yours. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is David. I work for the technical department of Provision ISR. I hope you all can see my screen right now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start in a second. So what you can see right here is the main interface of our NVR, of our operating system, OSIA. Now, the main goal that we have here in Provision ISR is to go for simplicity. Basically, we try to make everything simple as possible for the for everyone, for the end user, the distributor, the installer, to make the experience as simple as possible, even if you use a super high-end feature, for example. So let's go ahead and take a look about the different options. First of all, this is the menu. Of course, we're not going to go into each and every one of the menus, but it is, as you see, it is very clear what every button will do with different symbols. We have the full screen mode, which will put us in full screen. 4 different splits, 4, 9, 16. And of course, we have a couple of other splits if you're interested, with the big camera in the middle or some other kind of splits that we can use. For this next thing, I want to take you into a specific scenario. That scenario is usually it happens when we try to install a camera in a hospital or an office or a hotel maybe. So usually it happens in hallways, in long corridors. The thing is that we want to install the camera and we wanted to capture all of the corridor, but if we will install it in the classical way, then we will get all of the walls from the left and from the right because the image is wide, it's a wide screen. So the solution will be probably to twist it in 90 degrees. But if you will twist the camera in 90 degrees, then we will probably get an image like this. We will get black edges to the left and right. So of course, we can go ahead and just full screen the window, but then we lose proportions. So the image doesn't look very good. So to solve that problem, the thing that we done is very simple, but I haven't seen it in any other system. So we created a corridor mode. So basically we take the same image that is right now flipped, but now we don't lose any proportions and we don't see any black edges to the left and right. So of course we have this corridor mode in a three camera mode, 2 camera, 1 camera, like you can see right here, and 4 corridor camera mode. Next thing.
I just want to add here, guys, this is if you install cameras in hotels, if you install cameras in schools, or in a hospital, for example, when you have those long corridors, this is the only way to install a camera. If you install a camera as a simple installation, I think you're getting, first of all, a lot of the walls, which you don't need, which might create a lot of false alarms. Or you can use what we call corridor mode, which is designed for corridors.
Thank you, Amnon. Next thing is the quick playback. Generally, usually if you want to get into the playback, then I don't know other systems, but over here you just choose the cameras that you want. It doesn't matter if it is 4 cameras and you choose what cameras you want to see in the playback, and then you press the playback button. Right now, this is playback mode. Of course, you can go and choose even a split of 9 or 16 and immediately access the playback. I want you to see how quickly the system reacts, even if it's in playback mode, like now. Let me take the zoom window to here so it doesn't bother us. Okay, so another thing is, since it's a CCTV system and a lot of recorders have alarms or relays, then what happens if you want to activate a siren or opening a door, but we don't want to go into the menu and to the settings and to the alarm and then to activate it. We just want to do it in the press of a button. So we created a simple access button, the manual alarm right here, which will basically show us all of the alarms that we have on our NVR or connected to the IP cameras that have relay out. So basically, when I press the trigger right here or in any other camera, then basically I can activate a siren or open a door or do whatever I can do with the manual alarm, even if this camera is connected 100 away from the NVR. Okay, so next thing is the alert. This is the alert status window. So we like to address it like a dashboard, a car's dashboard. Usually if we see a yellow or a blue alert in our car, then we know that that alert is not very important. It's worth looking at maybe, but not super important. So same here, we see colors, we see yellow, we see that it means that we have a motion or an analytic that's going on. But it's not red, it's not very important. If we have a red alert, then it is something worth noticing. And of course, that it's going to show up right here on the bell. So instead of blue, we will see red. So immediately we go and check what happened. Maybe a camera got disconnected or the HDD is damaged or something critical has happened. Next thing is our way to provide information. So usually we want to know something about the NVR, the firmware or IP address or any other thing. And we need to go into the menu and same story. It's a bit complicated to get information. So we developed this button, information button, basically it shows you all of the information you need immediately. Information such as the firmware version. If you're just now talking to the technical support, then they want the firmware version, you press the I button, you have it. If you want to connect via P2P with the application, then you have the left QR code here, which will allow you to connect. If you want to download the application to Android, then you will scan the middle barcode. If you want to download the application for iPhone, then you will scan this barcode right here. Now, since we don't have all day to go through all of the different options, I'm gonna do it very quickly. This is the camera status. It will show us which camera is online, which is offline. The alert status, we've already been there. Record status. If for some reason our HDD is filling up too quickly, then we can go here and see how much bitrate every camera uses. Sorry. Network status. This is actually pretty important. Here we can see all of the information regarding to network. So we can see the IP address of the NVR, we can see the DNS, the port that are connected to what ports are activated on the NVR. We can see the total bandwidth and the remaining bandwidth of the NVR. If you want to know if you're using all of the bandwidth, same for the outgoing bandwidth and the NAT status, which is basically the P2P connection. Disk. I can think of two important things that we can see here. First of all, we can see we can see the capacity of the disk, how much the disk can hold and how much we've used from it, and we can see that the disk is decrypted. So basically, it means that we can encrypt the disk. In other words, we can make the disk encrypted, so no one can use that disk if that disk leaves the system. If someone takes the disk and try to connect it to another system or to another computer, it is worthless. You cannot do anything with it. Basically, I don't know if you know about it, but the GDPR, which is the Global Data Protection Regulation, is a European Union law that demands for communication devices to be encrypted. This is one of their demands. Group. We can divide the disks into different groups. And why is this good for? For the most simple example, there are many more, but one very important reason is that we can take our most important cameras, let's say we have 3 or 4 different cameras, and we can associate those cameras only to one of the disks using the group feature. So only 4 cameras will record to that disk. So they will have a lot of storage to store their recordings. And all of the other cameras, if you have another 10 cameras, which are not that important, we will leave them on the other disk. So this is a great way to save space. Backup status, if we have any backup going on in the background, then we can see it here. And the online users, we can see what user is connected, and we can also see that user's IP address. Okay. So for the next thing, I'm going to show you the customized display modes. You can see the bar to the right here. This is how we choose cameras. So if you want to choose another camera, we can just drag it from the list to the right and drag it to the middle. All of the cameras will always appear here under camera. In-channel sequence. So many times we want to have a camera to sequence, to skip one after another on one window. So only thing that we have to do is to press the plus. I pressed here. We choose what cameras, for the convenient, we have the small image, of course. We can choose what cameras we want to sequence one after another. We give it a name, and we choose what will be the time, how much time will pass between camera to another. And I think you want to see the result. So the result is right here. Take a look. I'm dragging a sequence I created previously. You count 5 seconds, and the camera changes to another camera. After another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, another camera. So I think that point is pretty understood. It's a great way actually to combine a lot of cameras if you have a small screen. So we can divide it to 4 and have all of the screen to pop up different cameras all the time. Next thing that I've already shown under another subject is the customized display modes. So we can create the layout that we want with the cameras that we want, and then we can quickly access that layout that we have saved. So very quick, and I wanted to see how quickly the system reacts if we are trying to get a lot of cameras at once. So next thing is mini menu. So for each camera that I will press on, like I press right now and right now, we have this small menu that we can see here. That window is also draggable. We can drag it from one place to another. I'm not gonna go through all of the buttons, but really quick, manual record, if you want to record right now something that has happened. Instant playback will show us immediately the playback from that same window. If we have a microphone connected to the camera, then we will be able to see it. Take a snapshot, activate a PTZ, digital zoom, and accessing all of the camera's settings. If it's DNR or sharpness or backlight, of course, we have 3 different pages of settings. So basically, instead of getting into the camera with the web interface like in other companies do, we can do the same thing from the InVR itself. And the most important thing is something that I'm not sure everybody knows. This is the refocus when camera switches from day to night. So when the camera switches from day to night, turns to from color to black and white. But if you will take a closer look, you will see that the camera loses a little bit of focus. If we will just mark this V right here, it was already marked, the NVR can automatically comprehend the differences between the focuses, and it can give us the correct, image all the time. It will always be sharp. Okay, it will always be in focus. Okay. So if anyone has questions, since we are a lot of people here on the Zoom, then please just write it down and tell us after the Zoom ends. We will give you a time for questions. So next thing is that I want to go to is the playback. So of course that many other companies have the playback mode. This is the whole idea. You want to access playbacks, but let me show you something special. We call it search by time. Now, just imagine that you want to see something that has happened, but you don't really know on which camera and when exactly did it happen. So all you have to do is to access this search method. Right now, I can choose until 16 cameras. I'm gonna choose for this demonstration only 8. And take a look. On the top, we can see the bar that represents all of the recordings. Yellow is motion, blue is schedule, turquoise is analytic, never mind. Now, whenever I press a certain timeline on the bar, all of the images change. So you see those images doesn't move to allow me a super quick view to what has happened in that moment. And whenever I find what I'm looking for, I can just press the image and then I can see the image move. I can see the video on the bottom left. Double click on that video will take me immediately to the playback mode, which from I can back up the things that I want. I press the back button and I go immediately to the earlier page. Of course that if I want to zoom in on the bar, I can zoom and drag it left and right. It's not a problem. So that is nice, you know, but actually I wanted to show you something even nicer. So for the next demonstration, I just want to tell you that we're going to use a certain method to find an event, actually to find when something has entered or left the scene, which we can notice with the best, with our eyes, basically. So I think the demonstration will be the best. Let's say that we are searching for something that has entered or left the scene. Then we choose our camera. I'm going to do it once again. We're going to choose the camera that captures the biggest area, which is the back DDA camera. It captures our parking lot outside. So immediately when I press that camera, I can see 2 snapshots. Each one is a month. I see April. The 4 here is April. The 5th is this month. It's May. So I'm going to take May. Now, I know that the event has happened. Let's choose all of those images represent a day. Okay, so let's say 15th of, or maybe yesterday. Let's go for the 19th of May, yesterday. So now I will get 24 images, each for every round hour, 12 o'clock at night, 1, 2, etc., etc. Now let's say that I want to know exactly when, let's say, the black camera right here, the black car, you can see the black car here. We want to know whenever it entered, when it has exited, when it arrived. So I can see that at 12 it wasn't here, but at 1 it was. So I'm gonna get into the 12 o'clock. I get immediately 60 snapshots, each one for each minute of that hour. And immediately I can see that the car was here at 12:48, but it wasn't at 12:47. So double click on 12:47 and let's speed up the time a little bit. And let's wait for the black car, which is right here. So in less than, I don't know, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, I found immediately what I was searching for. And I can tell that that car has arrived here at 12:47 and 47 minutes. I can even know what until when it stayed here. If I'll just do the same method and check for the snapshot that that car has left the our picture when it was gone. Okay. For the next thing, I'm gonna go into, actually, let's go a bit back. Let's go to the regular search. So the thing I'm gonna do is just press like we did before. I'm gonna press the playback button and access immediately all of our recordings. So here to the right, we can see the time bar. We can go back and forth, and immediately the cameras respond and we can see the playback. Of course, we can choose to zoom in a little bit if you want to get a closer look on the time. We can go into a resolution of a minute. We can see this is 2 o'clock, this is 2 and 5 minutes. So, you know, we just press and immediately we will get a playback from that point. Whenever I want to back up a video, then what I remember from different systems is that you have to go to the backup and you need to press the scissors to start the part, and then press the scissors again to cut the part that you want, and then you can back up the video. Not here. If I want to back up, all I have to do is to drag with my mouse the required area for one camera, 2 cameras, or maybe all of the different cameras that I have. So once I chose all of the parts that I want, I press the backup button, and then immediately I get all of the information regarding to the slice that I've chosen. I can see the start time, I can see the end time, the duration, it's a total of 9, almost 10 minutes. We can see how much data it's gonna take on my disk on key that I'm connecting to the NVR. And of course, we can see what cameras we have chosen to download the recording from. One press on a backup and we are ready. We have 2 ways to back up the data. First one is in AVI. We all know AVI format. We can just play it with the computer, with the DVD player, with our PlayStation, whatever we want. Private give us another jump to the GDPR, you know, the global data protection I talked about before. Basically, we can give our files a password. So if you give your files a password, if someone steals that disk on key or getting access to that files, those files are worthless because he needs to have the password. If he doesn't, he cannot play those videos. A great security way to keep our data close to us. So for the next thing, I'm going to actually, let's choose one of the cameras. Let's choose this one. So this is live, but when I press the playback, I'm in playback mode. So now, 1 second. Yes, okay, playback mode. Now we can see here on the left, we can see the time bar that holds all of the recordings from that camera. So recordings, everything is fine. But what happens if I want to narrow down the results a little bit? We can see a lot of different results, a lot of video that has been recorded. So what I'm gonna do now is basically draw a simple line, as you can see right here. Now, while the system thinks, I'm gonna tell you that it's going to show us only the recordings from when someone has crossed the line that I've just drawn. By the way, this feature is available on any camera because this is an NVR feature. Every NVR that has a SI is supporting this. So, okay, so now we have the results. So you can see that to the left, we have a lot of different events. A lot of them happens because of the flags on the top that are waving, so they generate motion. But if we'll zoom in, we can see that the right bar shows us a much less events. Only the events from when someone actually walked around here. So this is, okay, this is nice. It narrows down the results a little bit. It helps a little bit, but I want to narrow the results a little bit further. So what are we going to do? Let's choose 1 second. Anthony, for example. So I'm choosing Anthony. And while the system thinks, let me show you what happened. We actually don't see nothing here, but take a look to the top. We can see very few lines, okay, very few blue lines. I'm going to go for one of them. Basically, now we narrow down the results to only when Anthony has passed that green line. So let the system think a little bit, and immediately we are going to get our recording. So there is Anthony crossing the green line. Okay, I'm going to jump to the next part. And let's wait for it. And we can see Anthony once again. And let's do the same here. Whenever I'm going to press a blue line that has generated to the right, then I'm going to see only the face that I've chosen. Of course, this thing is applicable to everyone, okay? A very great way to narrow down results and to search for exactly what you're looking for. So what did we just saw here? We saw here something that Amnon talked about before. It's a feature that exists in all of our DDA cameras, which are the iSight, okay, one of the series, the iSight series. All of the iSight series cameras can have the DDA feature inside. DDA stands for Detect, Distinguish, and Alert. Basically, it works like this. The cameras have a built-in algorithm that allows them to detect human faces based on the mouth, the nose, the eyes. So whenever the camera detects a face, it just sends it into the NVR, regardless to who the person is. Just a face, boom, to the NVR, a face to the NVR. The NVR has the ability to distinguish the second part of the D, to recognize the face that has been sent to the NVR. So basically the NVR recognizes and the cameras detect. Symbiotic cooperation. So after I've said that, I'm going to show you the third thing that I haven't shown you before. This is our immediate search. We will be able to see here all of the faces that has been captured lately on the NVR. We can see less results, but if you will press history, we will see much a long distance result. So let's go ahead and search for Ellie. So the thing I've just did, actually I did it pretty quickly, so I'm gonna do it once again. I just point my mouse into a face, and then I can just press the magnifier right here, search. So immediately we are going to search all of the face that we have chosen, all of the times that face has been captured by the machine, by the NVR. So We can see all of the time that Ellie has been captured. By the way, we get results from all of the cameras that has captured that face. So we can see the name of the camera down here, main passage. So main passage has captured him in 356. We can see sales desk camera, main passage once again, and basically all of the different cameras. We can see a total of 86 results, okay? And 5 pages that we have it. Now, we don't have to search only for today. We can search for yesterday. Just press yesterday, press search, and if Eli was here, and he was, we will see same results. Now, if we search for a day, why not search for an entire week? So I think you got the point. We can search for an entire week of persons, for an entire day, and many other options. Now, of course, that if something has happened, then we don't have to see only the face. We want to see the entire scene. You know, if something got stolen, got broken, I don't know, something has happened in the scene, then we want to see exactly what has happened. I don't know if I already mentioned it or not, but one press on the snapshot will give us the video playing on the bottom left. Whenever we are in this menu, when we see the pictures, doesn't matter where, whenever we will press, we'll get the window. This is a reminder for the simplicity I talked about. Double click will get us into the playback mode, and pressing back will get us to the back menu that we were in. Very simple. So next thing I want to show you is our ability to do something a little bit extra. What I'm talking about, we can upload a map into our NVR. The map can represent our workplace. It can represent our street, university, you name it. And we can put our cameras on the map itself. So you can see here, this is sales desk. This is one of the cameras that we have. Face attendance, this is another camera. Now, whenever the cameras are painted red, it means that we have a record inside. So one press on the camera, it will show us all of the records that face has been captured in that camera. So a quick press on the record will give us a window with those exact face that we can see right here. The same person, Eli. We can see here once again. Now, this thing happens, of course, for each and every one of the cameras. And I want to show you something a little bit extra. So if we will press the followed window, then we're going to get the face that we have chosen, and the window will play next to the camera itself. So the window plays next to sales desk when sales desk capture the person, but when main passage camera catch the person, then the window is going to jump next to that camera, right here, the main passage. Next camera, once again, the same camera is captured Eli. So let's go, let's search for another example, and we have it, sales desk once again. You see, Eli works basically next to those two cameras. So this is nice and everything, but let's see something a little bit more obvious. So let's say that we want to follow a person. We want to know exactly where a person has been to. Okay, let's say a thief has entered and stole something. We want to follow him. Then we just press track play. Take a look. I press track play. I can see the snapshot I've taken, leaving main passage camera, going into the face attendance. Basically, we can see the entire route that a specific person has been to according to the order from the first time of the day to the last time. So we can see main passage to the face attendance to the main passage again, and then into the sales desk. So basically, you can form a whole grid of movements that a certain person has been. We can actually follow according to the face that has been captured. I don't know how to call it elsewhere, but this is a super powerful tool that many industries can use. Okay, so we search for a face, we saw maps, we saw the scene mode. Let's do something extra. First of all, let me do something that I didn't done before. I want to explain to you about those two different options. Very simple. This, the button to the left is the general search, general face search. When I press search according to the day or the week, I'm going to get all of the faces that has been captured in our cameras. If I want to search for someone specific, then I'm going to press the specific search. You can see the image logo here. So how do we search for someone? All we have to do is to press the plus button, and then we can search. And let me tell you a small secret. We don't have to search only for one person. We can also search for up to 5 different persons. Now, the NVR can contain groups or database. This is the same thing. Groups and databases allows us to give certain groups of people permissions and deny certain groups of people permissions. For example, if we have a workplace and in the workplace we have managers and employees, then we can make the employees and the managers the ability to enter the workplace, but only the managers will be able to access the manager's office, because we are going to create 2 different groups, one for the managers, one for the employees, and we're going to associate each camera to the right group. So then only the manager's office camera will open the door for the managers. Now, why did I explain about the database? Because that we can also search, as I said, for an entire, for 5 different faces, or as you can see here, database, we can choose our databases, which are right here. So we can search only for the database that we want. Okay, so in allow list 1, we have all of those faces that we are going to see right now. And we can search, we can press select group, and we will be in the press of a button, we can basically search only for that group. Okay, we are interested only for faces that exist in that group, and this is the only thing that we are going to get. And we have 514 different results only from today. Powerful tool, I already said. Remember, it's just it. Now, last thing actually about the face recognition ability is another use that we have for the system. Basically, we thought about if we have this system that can recognize faces and can tell me who is John and who is Doe, then why not use it as a face attendance system? So the face attendance, all you have to do is to press face attendance, to select the cameras from where you want to collect the data. All of them are chosen, so I'm going to leave it that way. Same goes for the groups.
Only, sorry, Dudi, can you choose
yes.
only, can you choose only the, what's this camera, the one next to the biometric one?
What camera?
We have that camera next to the biometric unit, no?
The entrance, the entrance
Is it here?
of provision. It's one of the cameras that is yes, it's one of the cameras that has been chosen here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the reason why actually Amnon wanted me to choose especially the camera that captures the faces that enter the workplace. For a good reason, I'm going to choose all of the cameras because, you know, first camera that captures the face, well, you're gonna see it on your own. The only thing that we have to do is just to specify the days that we work. So we work from Sunday until Friday, working hours, doesn't matter, we're gonna leave it that way. And we are choosing that we want to get results of an entire month. That's it. You don't have to set anything, just to have an NVR that, you know, support face recognition. So we can see a lot of details. Let's go for Ronen. We can see Ronen that he was here for 8 days. We see a lot of data, but we want to see something more visual. So we press the detail button and we can see details for each and every day according to when the camera has captured his face. So for example, the 4th of May, we can see the first time that his face was captured. Of course, it was in camera main passage. So the first time was at 11 in the morning. The last time was at 2:34. Same goes for each and every day. So we can see from here information from the 7th of May. So basically you have a collection of detailed report about the absence or arrival of each employee that you have automatically. And you don't have to get to the human resource department and you know, show them this list. All you have to do is to export all of the data into your disk on key in a CSV file, which you can open in Excel. So you save all of the hard work, you have an Excel already ready with all of the information, you give it to the human resource and you are all set. Of course, that if you want it to work perfectly, you have to install the cameras perfectly also in the entrance, in the exit, so they will manage to identify the faces without losses. Strong and powerful tool to have information about your employees. Okay, so next thing I want to show you is actually it relates to the face recognition. Everything is a part of the DDA that we talked about. A small reminder: DDA is a feature, the ability that all of iSight series camera can do. So the next ability those cameras can do is distinguish. What is distinguish? We can distinguish between a human being to a vehicle to a two-wheel vehicle. So the camera can understand what is a car, what is a bike, and we're going to see it in a second. So I'm going to enter analytics. Let's go into the analytics. I'm doing it, I was in the same menu before. I want to do it again to show you how easy it is. The first option is the face, we already been to. Now we are going to go into the human. So when we press human, we are going to search for human beings. Of course, we can search from today, yesterday, this week, this month. Let's go for today. I think there were a bit of human beings today in our offices, and press search. That's it. 1 second goes by and we immediately get all of the human beings that has been detected from each camera. Now, I can show you, for example, that snapshot right here. And of course, we can see the video plays to the left. But I want to show you something a little bit more, maybe not very, it's not obvious that it will happen. Take a look at how small the person that has been detected in that camera. The person is tiny, okay? According to the camera, it's very small, but still the camera has been able to detect that this person is a person, you know, it's from a long distance. So it's very strong and powerful. So it can actually detect human beings even if they're very, very small. And not only that, take a look at here. We have a snapshot that has been detecting a human being behind a glass. Even if there are 1, 2, or even 3 glasses separating between the camera and the object, you will still be able to detect it. Of course, I'm not re-entering that subject because we already talked about it, but you can go and export that part of the video. You can access playback by double click, and immediately you can go here and you know, just mark the area that you want. It will always take you to the same window because this is the window we work with if we want to get to take recordings. Next thing is the ability to distinguish between something to a vehicle. Let's see some vehicles. So I'm not gonna really, I'm just gonna choose all of the cameras from today, all of the events, all of the attributions, which are basically giving the ability to choose between a car to a two-wheel vehicle. So let's choose all of them, press search, wait for a few seconds, and then we can see vehicles. Only vehicles that has been detected by our system. So let's, for example, go for here. Okay, so we can see here a lot of different vehicles, but we will never see a parking vehicle. So for example, we can see here that that car is moving, but also since it's a parking, we also have a lot of standing vehicles. So if the vehicle is standing, it won't show up here, never. The camera knows that the car doesn't move. So for that matter, it's not gonna give us millions of snapshots of that vehicle. only when something moving, then it will give us the information. Of course, that whenever we want, we can go and back up whatever we want from right from here, from that screen. Okay, so next thing I want to show you is how we search, not for a vehicle, not for a human that they also show here, but for that matter, I'm going to choose actually only one of the cameras. And the reason is very good because that I want to show you recognition of bikes or motorcycle or scooters. Everything that has two wheels will show here. So you just choose two-wheel vehicle, and immediately we get snapshots only from two-wheel vehicles. So one click of a button, we can see immediately that a bike has passed here. Now, I want to show you something extra. Take a look to the bottom, to the upper right part of the screen. You can see here the meter. Okay, we can see a meter. It says bike 6, car 0, human 35. Basically, our cameras can count objects. It can count human being, it can count a car, and it can count a bike. So I took 30 seconds before. Now take a look at the bike section that says 5. Take a look at bike. It says 5, and oops, it says 6. And also the human count has jumped because there was a human on the bike. So basically we can understand that 6 bikes has moved from one direction to another, and no bikes has went from the other direction. I'm gonna tell you shortly that if you want to set the entrance or the exit, then just on the settings screen, of course we're not gonna go into it right now, but basically just pull down a line similar to the line we drew before, and whenever someone passes from one side to another, it counts as an entrance, and from the opposite side, it will count as an exit. Very simple. Actually, for that reason, let me see if I'm missing something. For that reason, I want to show you another camera really quick. Yes, this is the. See, 1 second. Okay. Never mind. I don't find it. Okay, my bad. Next thing I'm gonna show you is how to add an IPC, how to add an IP camera. So, yes, it's not supposed to be very difficult.
David, sorry, can I just stop you for a second? I just want to point something out.
Yes.
Guys, this is a very powerful tool, the detection of human and vehicles and two wheels, especially for the South African market, when we have a lot of private houses, and that can be used as human detection, replacing outdoor detection. And also for businesses that instead of installing a very expensive outdoor detector, which is wireless, etc., you can put the DDA cameras all around the business or all around the house and use it as a detection for the business, that at least if there is a detection, you can actually see a video of what was detected. There is a history, you can go back to it. So it's a very new concept to use specifically for the South African market. And if you have any other questions, we can, after the training, you can speak to any of the high-tech guys, will give you more info. Thanks.
I will add another thing here, just to explain the difference between your regular, what you know as motion detection, and what we describe as high-end analytics, which is now available for you. The difference between motion detection, motion analytic, and high-end analytic, intelligent analytic, is the fact that motion detection is based on pixel changes, pixel change in the image. Now pixel can be changed from many, many things. They can be changed from rain. They can be changed from trees blowing away, from bags because of high winds, especially in Cape Town, I think. They can be generated from light changes, daytime, nighttime. Maybe clubs have different light changes. They can be generated from spiders walking on the camera. or dust after a while that gather on the camera after a strong sandstorm. Unlike the DD analytic, which is based on artificial intelligence that is now able not to check which pixel has been changed, but what is it that I see? Is it and at the moment, we in Provision ISR are able to distinguish between human beings, four-wheel drive, and two-wheel drive. By the end of this year, we are hoping also to be able to distinguish between adult, child, color of a shirt, color of a car, and the sky is the limit. Now, the great thing about it is that it's basically closing down your false alarm almost to nothing. You're going to get true alerts, push notification, alerts, recording only when what you wanted to alert it happens. Only when somebody enters a scene, or not because of spider, rain, dust, bags, trees, or any one of those past generation motion detection triggers. I hope it's clear. David, please continue.
Okay, thank you, Amnon. So actually, the thing I wanted to show before, couldn't find it, was this camera. I want to show you how accurate it is. We can see here all of the humans that has entered, all of the humans that has exit. This is a camera that represent actually perfectly a scenario if you want to see a person that has entered or left the scene. So, adding an IP camera to our device. So if you want to add a camera, all we have to do is to go into the Add Camera menu. I think that someone is painting on the... Okay, so we have three options. We have Quick Add. Quick Add, we all know it. Basically, we can the NVR scans all of the devices, whether they are in OnVIF or Provision ISR. It can scan it and we can add it immediately to our device. Add manually. If you want to add an an IP camera remotely, or it's a fixed IP, or if it's locally, it doesn't matter. So we can add it via here. Of course, we can add it in a couple of different protocols. We have Provision ISR, of course. We work with OnVIF, as Amnon mentioned, and we have integration with Hikvision and Dahua. So basically, if we add a camera, for example, in that protocol, we can access all of that camera settings. It's like we were in a Dahua recorder and not a sensor like in OnVIF. If you get much less options that you can do. Add a recorder. In Add a Recorder, basically, we can add an entire recorder, both a DVR or an NVR, and we can add all of the recorder, or that we can add a part of the recorder. So if you want to add only one, like 1 or 2 or 8 different channels from that recorder, then we can do it. Now, we have two good reasons why we want to add a recorder. One is for backup. If we add a recorder, then we can back up that recorder. We have another backup in our house, or of course remotely of that same device. Second reason is if we have a security guard that actually watches our house using cameras, then if you will install it on a computer, then two things might go wrong. One of them is that the security guard will get bored and start to play with the computer. And second thing is the computer might break. If the computer watches 16 cameras at once, and computers aren't supposed to watch cameras 24/7. If you push it too hard, the computer might break. But an NVR is the perfect machine for that matter, because this is its only job basically. So the security guard cannot play with the device he can play with the device too much. He can only watch the cameras, and the NVR is meant for watching cameras. So next thing is I'm going to talk to you about the number one problem, I think, in CCTV world. It's when our HDD is finished. The hard drive is finished too quickly, or some problems with the HDD. So we have a couple of solutions for that matter. First thing I'm going to take you is the first thing is actually the record. This is where we can set the record. This is where we can set how we want to record our video. So usually the end user or the installer will have to go to the schedule to draw some lines and maybe to create a schedule of its own. A bit complicated. So we thought about why not make this option simple as well. So all he have to do is to choose how he want to record. Do you want to record by motion, by sensor, maybe a combination of motion and sensor, maybe always and with the combination, or any other combination that does not appear here. Then you can choose it and immediately get the recording that you want. Now, I've talked about the disk that is filling too quickly. So one of our ways to keep our disk for as long as possible, okay, to have recordings for as long history as possible, is to choose what cameras are important for us and what cameras are not. So you remember before we talked about disk groups. So this is option number one, and let's see option number two. Here we can see all of our cameras. You see camera name, those are all of the cameras exist on our NVR, and we can choose that the less important cameras that we have, for example, if you know that this camera, we don't need the recording for longer than 4 days, for example, then we can tell that camera to record only for 4 days. And after 4 days, it will just FIFO. So we will have much more recordings for all of the other cameras. Of course, we can choose between 1 day until 180 days. We can do that option for any other camera, just with the press of a button. Super, super easy. Another option that we have, if we want to save some disk space, is to divide between event and normal recording. So it's right here under encoding parameters. Right here, I am under event recording stream. Yet again, I have all of the cameras right here. And whenever there is an event, okay, when we have motion detection, analytic detection, sensor, whatever, we want to have the system to record in the maximum resolution. Maximum resolution, it can be, you see, 4 megapixel resolution for that camera and 2 megapixel for that camera. Each camera will have its maximum setting. You see the frame per second is maximized, bitrate, everything is maximized. But when we go into the normal recording stream, then in this case, we will see similar options, but of course we can go and just minimize the frame per second for all of the cameras at once. Okay, we can choose like 6 frames per second, and the most important thing is that we can change the bitrate simultaneously for all of the cameras to something more humble, maybe 500K. So instead of taking 3 mega each second, it will take only half of it. And it will give us a lot of more information. So whenever nothing is happening, when no event is happening, we will get a lower resolution, lower anything, but still we will have a recording. And whenever there is an event, full resolution and full with the best quality possible. So those are part of our ways.
I just want to emphasize, Anit, sorry, David. I just want to emphasize it, Anit, just for those of you who are not clear about it. I see some questions. Let's say you need to record all the time, because this is what the customer wants. He wants to record 24/7. Or let's say when his office is working, he wants to record all the time. No problem. However, even if I record 24/7, it doesn't mean that I have motion going on right now, even if I record it. Now, if there is no motion, but I still need to record, then maybe I rather decrease the quality of the recording when there is nothing going on in the video. And as soon as somebody enters the scene, something is moving inside the scene, the video setting is being changed to the highest possible. And by that, you can extend your hard drive to its limits by increasing how many days you assign to every camera, by decreasing the quality when there's no motion going on, by assigning different cameras to different groups, and by that, achieving the most time you can get from your hard drives. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is the part where we go to the application, but one small remark before. We can see here recommended bitrate range, okay? So our NVR can automatically tell us what will be the recommended bitrate. For example, take a look here at the 3. It starts with 3,520. If I will change the encoding to H.264, the numbers are jumping because the H.264 is a older encoding method. So the recommended bitrate will be less. And this is a question that we get a lot. So we decided, okay, the NVR can provide the answers. So next thing, I'm not gonna answer. Next thing, let's remove this and open.
Okay, while Dudi is connecting his phone, the next part, which is the ProvisionCam app, the ProvisionCam 2 app, is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes just to give you an understanding about where we stand in times. And at the end of it, we're going to leave some room for questions. So bear with us. This is the cool part. Just a few words about the app. Provision ISR is investing a lot into the software of the app. Reason is we believe that like any other things that is managed through the apps today in our life, whether it's booking hotels, flights, ordering food or whatever, CCTV is also part of this. And in the years to come, the customer is going to manage his CCTV system mostly through the app, mostly. And that's why we direct a lot of our investment into the app, and to make sure that every feature that we have locally will be available also on the app. We will touch the most sexy one, of course. So let's start. Dudi, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so the general explanation has been provided by Amnon. Again, we think about how to make it simple for the end user, which will be the main user of the application usually. I want to provide a better experience. So let's just start and see where we're gonna go. So views. This is the application. When we first started, we get the screen, split it for 4. Let's see what we can do. So first of all, here on the bottom, I'm going to point it with the mouse. This is where we can decide how many windows we are going to divide the screen to, the layout basically. So we can divide it to 9 to 16, and we have some special other layouts. I don't normally see it in applications, but I know we have it. So if you like another layout, you can just use it, not a problem. Next thing is the server list, which is right here. So when I press this button, I'm going to immediately be taken to the server list. Our application has the ability to show us, just like a CMS actually, which device is connected and which device is not connected. You don't have to guess. So if we see a green antenna right here, then it means that the device is connected. And if we have a gray antenna, it means that this device is not connected. So by the way, this is a camera, a lone camera, which is connected by P2P. This is an NVR, the same NVR we have, I've shown the demonstration before on the TV, and another DVR, which is also connected. Now, before we start to play with the cameras, I want to show you that I'm connected on 4G. So any reaction that you can see here, fast or faster, then you just let you know, we're not working on Wi-Fi. I'm actually taking an actual terms, okay, like in real life conditions. So let's see a couple of the things we can access from here. This is our NVR, we said. So first of all, we can press the I button, which is supposed to be familiar. We already talked about it in the NVR section. So the same way that we can get all of the information from the NVR itself, we can do the same if we are in a different country and we want the information of the NVR. So we can access exactly the same information from here as well. Firmware, as we saw before, we can see the firmware. We can see, I don't know, let's go for the network information, for example. So network information also will show me the internal IP of the NVR. Even though I'm connected in 4G, we can see the DNS address, we can see the ports, we can see the remaining and outgoing bandwidth. Actually, all of the information from before also shows up here, as well as with the disk information. Everything in the palm, in a press of a button. This is a great way, by the way, that we can help as installers, we can help our client to solve problems. If he doesn't know what to do, we can access his device from our application and immediately understand what's going on. Now, we talked about how the world progresses and everything is being done via applications, and we believe in sharing. So we decided to give the option to share. So a quick press on the QR code, I'm going to show it once again, will give us the QR code of the NVR. So immediately, in a press of a button, which is that button, the share button, we all know it, we will immediately get access to all of the sharingable applications. So we can share it via WhatsApp or Telegram or WeChat, whatever we want. We can send that QR code to our I don't know, children, to our parents, so immediately they can get access to our cameras. Of course, they will need the username and password. QR code alone is not enough and not recommended. Now, another cool thing is the ability to print. You can print the QR code. This is a cool feature for mainly for stores that want to show their clients how the inventory changes. So they can print the QR code, hang it outside their store, and everyone can connect and see if, I don't know, he sells paintings, for example, and they want to see the paintings, something cool, and gonna go and buy it. Okay, so let's go for the real deal. I'm going to choose split for 9. Now, the button right here, this actually, when we press here, this is where we see our devices. So the same devices we saw before, the connected devices, we can see the camera, we can see the NVR and the DVR. So I can press the play button, which will immediately give me all of the cameras. Now, just take a look how quickly it responded, and it's basically it's connected on 4G on cellular immediately. Now we can split the screen also to 16. Okay. Now we get all of the 16 channels from our NVR. So if you want, for example, if you want to go to the, I'm going to close the cameras and just choose, let's say, one of them, just to show you what the arrow is doing. Whenever I press an arrow, it will give me the next cameras in line. So if I had less cameras, then we will see only half of them play. But basically, you can go back and forth between the cameras that you have, between the cameras that you can potentially play on your system, on your application. Next thing is another cool access to the manual alarm that we saw before. So we saw before how we can activate an alarm, even if the alarm is connected to a camera, which is located 100 or 200 meters from the NVR. So we can do the same here from the application with exactly the same method. We can press trigger and we can activate the alarm, which again, I'm going to remind you, is can be connected to the NVR itself or to an IP camera that is connected to the NVR. So I can be with my phone in Thailand and activate all of the sirens that I have in my home. Okay, after I got an alert of an intruder that has went in, I went into the camera, I saw a bad person, I activate all of the sirens and, save the house. If you want to clear it, or you press clear, or that you can press the big clear, which will clear all of the triggers at once. Okay. So for the next thing, let's try something else. By the way, I can access those features because I play the camera from the device that I want to access the feature. So it doesn't really matter as long as I have at least one camera playing. Now I'm going to show you something, something nice. I'm going to press add a new person. Now, while I'm doing it, just remind that before we have talked about the database, the groups that we have on the NVR. So I'm going to do a simple thing like that. This is me, by the way. Hello. I'm picturing myself. And once I got the picture, I'm going to do it again. So you will take a look. Take a look at the line that surrounds the face shape. Whenever it detects a face, the line becomes blue. Whenever there is no face, the blue line disappears. So basically, whenever we have a face, we can save that face. We can fill the information, of course, give it a name, give it everything. And then we can associate the face into a group. Now, the groups that we can see here are groups from the NVR. We don't have a mess of groups, part of them on the phone and part of them on the NVR. No, it is a 100% synchronization. It means that all of the groups here actually exist on the NVR. So whenever we add a face here, it actually reflects to the NVR. The photo actually being added to the NVR itself. So in other words, I can go with my phone to my friend, which is a VIP client. I can take his picture, okay? I take his picture and then I add him to the VIP group that I have. And whenever that client arrives, then he will have, I don't know, a greeting message, or the door will unlock for him, or something will happen. Or I will get an email that he has been, his face has been captured in one of my cameras. So I'm actually mobile and I can do all of those things from wherever I want. Of course, all of the information, I didn't talk about it, but we can say it's a male or a female, the birthplace, all of the required information. Only the name is a mandatory. If you don't fill out the name, we won't be able to add no one into the database. Now, another thing is that we don't have to be next to the person to add him to the database. We can just add him from our phone, okay? The thing I did was just to press here, the gallery button. Whenever we press it, we get access to our phone's memory, and then we can add that face. So we don't have to be near him. We can take the photo from WhatsApp or something. Now, saving a person into a database is important and nice, but let's do it in real time. So instead of adding a person, I'm going to search by image. So of course, let's go ahead and snapshot myself again. And here we see the photo. We can set the similarity rate, how much we want the image to, to be strict about the similarity, so we don't have mistakes. And we can search from a period of time to a period of time. So I'm going to search for an entire month, okay? The 20th of April until the 20th of May. Let's start search. Reminder, we are right now on 4G, okay? Cellular, and see how quickly we got results. So to the left, we can see the channel that has captured that face. We can see the snapshot time. It was in the 23rd of April. We can see the similarity. By the way, the photos are arranged, sorted by similarity rate. So first of all, we will see all of the 100%, and in the end, we're gonna see the less similarity. So we want to see the image, right? So we just press, let's say we're gonna press this one right here, face attendance. So I'm pressing it, and immediately I get a snapshot at 5 o'clock at night. It seems like I had a rough day. And if we press the button in the middle, we will get the video. Of course, we have a pre-alarm of a few seconds, and someone came before me. And there we have it. So through the phone, we immediately get all of the information we want regarding to face as well. So if we want to see the next event I was in, then we press next and next and next. We can see really events eternally. of course, even the results that have less percent will still show us the same image, just that, you know, maybe then I have a beard or maybe, but the camera is smart enough and strong enough to recognize that we are talking about the same face.
Can you open one of the 75% similarity?
Sure, why not? So I'm gonna go again and search. Let's press start searching. And basically, since the minimum is 75%, then we will be able to press, let's say 75%. Same thing. Embarrassing. Okay. So we don't have to, same like before, we don't have to take an actual snapshot right now. We can just access our photo album and let's see if we'll get lucky. Let's see. Okay, so this is a snapshot from my phone, and we're going to do the same thing. This time, this search is from today. So today we only have 2 records, and there we have it. So you can take the photo from your phone. You don't have to be next to the person all the time. Of course, if you want, we have a flashlight, okay, and the ability to change it to a selfie camera. So next thing is another way to search. Now, sometimes we have a photo of a person. Sometimes we don't have a photo of a person. Now, if that person is in our database, okay, on our NVR, then we don't have to have a photo. We don't need a photo. Let's press search by name. Now, let's search, for example, for Amnon. Okay, we see Amnon right here. Whenever we just start to type the name, the application is smart enough. It shows us all of the persons that have AM in their names. So we press Amnon, we can see his photo. We press OK and start search. So same thing, exactly the same thing. Just in this case, we search for a person via its name and not with a photo of him. Okay. Of course, I didn't mention it yet, but we can, whenever we are here in a playback mode, then we can zoom in, take a look. I'm zooming in into a resolution of a minute, 3 in 3 minutes, 3 in 4 minutes, and system reacts properly, and we can jump into a motion. Whenever there was motion, we can see motion, and we can see the clock moving. Okay. So, let's go back a little bit and go into playback. So whenever we want to search for a playback from 1 or 2 or 16 different cameras, all we have to do is to press playback button. So I press the playback button, accessed immediately the first recording of that camera. And now I don't want to watch one camera. I want to watch 9 different cameras in playback mode, okay? Remote playback mode. So 9 different cameras, and I'm going to take the bar to a more interesting hour where a bit of motion has happened. Take a look how fast it reacts. It's playback, just a reminder. We are watching playback right now. So we can see, we can go inside the bar, we can go in, we can go out, we can see everything that has happened. We can search by date if we want. All we have to do is to press the clock right here. I press the clock, I see dates. Now, whenever a date is red, it means that we have recording on that date. If I'll go back, I can see that I have recordings from the 22nd of April. Okay, so if you press it, we can see that we have recording. 21st, we don't have recording. So another thing we can do is that we can filter out results, unneeded results. Let's say we only want to see motion. This is something that actually exists also on the NVR, of course. And right now I'm remembering that I forgot to show it, but of course how to filter events is super important, and of course that we control it. So we can see here only events, only motion that has happened in the camera that we are pointing to. So right now we can see that the camera on the upper left right here is circled by red. If I choose another camera with my finger, of course, I will see the recordings okay, for that camera. So take a look at the yellow lines. If I change camera, then suddenly the lines changes according to the recordings on that camera. Okay, so next I'm going to go into 16 channel playback mode, and I'm going to re-enter all of the playbacks.
Short sideline remark. As far as we know, not many companies can do 16-channel remote playback 4G on your app.
Correct. Usually it's stuck in more than 4, but 16 cameras, and take a look how fast it reacts. So right now we are playbacking, right? We are playbacking 16 channels from one NVR. So let's do something different. I'm going to choose another DVR. Okay, this DVR has only 8 channels, and I'm just dragging one of its cameras into the screen. So right now, I actually, let's drag another camera, okay, for the fun. So right now we can see 14 cameras from the NVR and 2 cameras from the DVR. And of course that we can go and play with we can change the time from the NVR, from the DVR itself. So we can have a mix of channels from a combination of more than one device. We can take a combination of a maximum of 16 devices. If we have 16 devices, we can take one camera from each of them and create our own layout. Now, I'm asking myself, I'm betting that you asking yourself as well, can we save it? I mean, we work hard, right? We take a camera from each device. So actually, I forgot to show it before. I'm gonna do it really quickly. This is now not playback. This is live view. I'm going to take, like before, a few channels from the other DVR and take a look how easy I'm going to do it. We have now a mix, yet again, a mix of DVR and NVR. And then we're gonna access the 3 dots. We're going to go into the add favorite, and I'm going to press the add favorite. So we can see here a few groups, and we can see that we have cameras saved in some of the groups. I'm going to choose that group, group number 6, which is empty, and I'm going to press the red plus. I press the red plus, and let's close all of the cameras. You know what? Keep in mind the cameras. Okay, we have here a green, white car. Just remember that those 2 cameras, and let's open. Even let's change the layout, and I'm going to open. It was group number 6, if I remember correctly. I'm just going to press that button and get all of the videos that I've saved in a second. Pretty nice. Okay, so next thing is going to be the search by actually an event. So I'm going to again open one of the cameras, and let's search for something. So we have another option here. This is the last one we haven't been to yet. We've already been to all of the others. Search by event. What kind of event? Any event. We can choose between face detection to face recognition, line crossing. Of course, we already set those things. By the way, we have a setting how to set videos all over. So in YouTube, we have a channel. You can search for it and just see how to set it up. Videos are very short because it's very simple. So the things that we can do, I'm actually thinking about what to show. Let's go for, let's choose, okay, never mind. Let's just choose everything. And now I'm going to go ahead and search for motorcycle, like before. So we're searching for a motorcycle. Basically, it means basically street cars, not cars, sorry, bikes and two-wheel vehicles. Forgot it for a second. So same like before, we can press next and see the next event. We can see this person and this person, and we can press the play button, and immediately we'll be able to see the bike passes. Maybe it already passed. Let's wait for it for a second. There it is. And of course, the counter is changing, same as before. The counter is changed to the to who is missed. Let's take another look. The 4 turns to 5. Hope you got it. So as well as searching for a bike, we can also search for a human being. We can choose from which cameras. Of course, we can choose the date. Let's just go for today and start searching. And yet again, we're going to get many different events, all of the events that contain human beings from all of the different cameras. So we have face detect camera, face detection, and we can see a human face. So
I'm stopping you here for a second, David.
Yes.
Guys, what I want to emphasize here, we showed you here two quite advanced feature. Face recognition is something that is just now, face recognition was in CCTV market for many years. We see it in airports, we see it in security premises and so on, but now it's coming to your everyday installation. For the same price, actually, there's no licensing fee or anything like this. You can have face recognition features. Not only you have face recognition feature, but you already have it available in the palm of your hand in the app. Same with the high-end analytic, the artificial intelligence analytic, which also available in the NVR, now is available for you also in the app. So those two advanced features and is an example of what Provision is always trying to do, to take the high-end feature, bring it all the way to the app even, allowing you to add faces to the database, search for faces, search only for cars, only for two-wheel drive, only for human beings, and by that improving the experience and the accuracy of the CCTV system dramatically. Go ahead.
Okay, so for the next thing, I'm going to choose our 6-megapixel fisheye camera right here. And let's see a couple of the things that we can do with it. So it actually takes me back to the presentation before for Amnon. It's about the features that we've taken from gaming world. So let me show you what actually we mean. So we can see here the fisheye camera. If you want to get into the fisheye mode, we just press fisheye mode, like here. So the thing that we can see, let me just flip the screen. We can see here a rotating camera. And let's see what we can do. So first of all, I'm going to cancel the A so the camera stops spinning. It spins automatically whenever we are in fisheye mode. Now it stopped spinning. And let's dive into the room. So the thing that you just witnessed was a double click, just a double click that I pressed with my finger on the phone, okay, on the picture actually. And immediately we can get access into the room and we can move right, we can move to the left, we can zoom in, we can zoom out. By the way, this is me live right now. So we can see that also I want to show you that the lens is so, the millimeter of the lens is 1.07. It means that even though the camera is installed on the ceiling, the angle is super minimal. So we can also see the writing on the wall right here. And if you would see the camera, I would think it's impossible because it's really directly to the floor. So the lens is so wide that it can actually detect also the widest angle. A couple of more options that we can do, let me exit by double clicking, of course, is the spiral mode. So spiral mode allows us to see the front and the back of a room, and we can rotate it back and forth. And this is a cool feature. And another thing is I call it a teacher mode. Why teacher mode? Because teacher have eyes on the back. So right here, we can see the front and the back of the room in the same time, and we can spin. Of course, we can spin it to whenever we want. And one of the most useful actually features is the 4PTZ. So we have 4 different PTZ that we can direct each one to another angle of the room. Okay, let's take another one to the maybe straight down, and the last one to the back. So we have one PTZ, one fisheye camera that acts as 4 different cameras. Now, the last feature I'm gonna show about the fisheye is the feature that we have taken from the game industry. So we've all heard about the virtual reality. So whenever we are pressing VR, we are actually getting the ability to look up, to look left, to look to the right, and we can do it simply by moving our phone. Actually, the technology uses the phone built-in gyroscopes, so the application can tell if we are moving left or right, and it combines it with the fact that the camera provides 360 degrees image, so we can actually travel inside the camera itself. Now, of course, we don't have to be in the same room to do it. We can be in Thailand and do the same thing with the camera, which is in I don't know, in India, for that matter. Now, this is nice and everything, but I want to show you something a little bit, something extra. So for that matter, we are going to get, 1 second. Okay, I'm going to exit the application for a second. My phone is making troubles. Actually, the last thing will be yet again to access that camera, okay, the fisheye, but in this time I'm going to access playback. So right now I'm in the middle of the night, okay? We can see the hour is 12 o'clock at midnight. No one is here since we are in, you can see it's black and white. So let's try to do the same thing, but this time in a recording. So I'm doing actually the same things I've done before when I was live. I can do exactly the same on a recording. I can play with the PTZ, okay? We can go to the spiral mode or the other mode. We can do everything simply on a recording. So this is how our office looks in the middle of the night, black and white, and we are acting as we were inside of the office itself. So really to sum it up, we try really to provide the best features possible for everyone, for you guys, for the installers, for the distributors. We want everyone to make a good use of our products, which are really very, very powerful. And really the demand for smart abilities such as face recognition, face detection, human, vehicle. We are even working on LPR right now. The demand is increasing rapidly. So really, for any question, we are here for you, and I'm glad that you were able to join us. Amnon, do you have anything to add?
Yes, first of all, David, thank you very much. Guys, this is basically was the end of today's webinar from our side. Now we're going to leave, first of all, for those of you that need to leave, thank you very much for joining us for today's webinar. I hope we managed to teach you a little bit more about Provision ISR in general, and especially about some of the features that maybe you didn't know we have. But we are here for the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as long as you need us to answer any one of your technical questions. If you want us to show something again, you can open your microphone and ask a question, or you can write in the chat box and I will ask it for you. For those of you that have to leave, thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you soon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Just please pick up your voice.
Okay. My question, I've got 2 questions. The first one is on the network. You know, the banks have got a high security when it comes to their proxies. So they're using an NVR and about 6 to 10 DVRs in their branches. But the operation managers want to be able to view them on CMS, on the phone. So the challenge we have is when we put the DNS settings, in the NVR or the GVR, it does not pick up. How can we resolve that? Then the second one is on the CMS. No, not CMS, the CAM2. On CAM2, the previous one, what we used to do is when you open the window, you have all your layout. When you minimize it on your phone, if there's any movement, you used to get an alarm on the phone. It would show you camera one and sound an alarm, but that doesn't work on the new feature now. Is there anything that can be done, or there's something that we're missing? I think those are the two questions I have.
Okay, so regarding to the second question, you're saying that actually you don't, you stop getting push messages into the phone whenever there is a motion?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, it's something that needs to be checked straight, individually to see what's the problem. Because of course I have the same application, I get push messages, but I'm thinking maybe there is an ability to shut down the push notifications over the NVR, but you can disable it from the application itself. So maybe someone that have access to that NVR disabled the push notification option. Another thing, the push notification feature is also settable through the NVR itself. So you can see, actually, if you will press the I button in the NVR itself, you will be able to see under a network status, one of the things that I've shown is the push server status. So we can see if it's enabled or disabled. I'm trying to say that a lot of things can cause this. So, but it's not the application, because the application works. So it has to be checked. Regarding to the
on that one, at first, when the old CMS, the CAM1, the first one, we never used to set push notification. So automatically, when your layout, when you just minimize it on your phone, it would sound an alarm if there's movement without activating push. Now, when you activate push on this one, it's every second, every minute, it's going to give you alerts. I don't know if you noticed that in the previous
No, I think I know what you're talking about, but I think I think I know what you're talking about, because I'm familiar also with the previous one. But I think it's a matter of the right setting with the new app. There's nothing on the new app that doesn't exist from the old app. We just improve it. We didn't reduce anything. It's a matter of setting, I think. When you activate right now the push notification, you're getting a lot of push notification, probably because you need to eliminate some of the push notification that you don't want to get and just leave the one that you want to get. Before, with the old app, with the Provision CAM1 app, the push notification was for everything. That was one of the things that we didn't like about it. And what we did with the new one is to give you more abilities on how to control when will you get push notification and what exactly when you get that push notification, what will happen? Will it open live? Will it open recording from the minute when the alarm came in? Many, many things. You just need to play a little bit inside the app. We have, by the way, a full YouTube tutorial about what we did today was ABC of Provision CAM2 app, but we have a 20-minute full advanced tutorial, setting tutorial for the app available on YouTube. I suggest you watch it. We touch especially, in that movie, we touch especially the push notification setting and how to improve it into a way that you can actually enjoy it and not just disturbing your life.
Okay, that's understood on that one.
I have a question here. Peter Scott is asking, I have the app on my phone, and when I open the push notification type, it only gives add favorite and manual alarm. Peter, we need to be a little bit more understanding about what do you mean. You mean when you get a push notification, you open the app and nothing happened. I'm guessing that you first need to set it up. For every push notification, David, can you go to the push notification?
I'm going to show you one thing. The only way to get the notifications you talked about are to not have any camera that plays right now. You see, I don't have any camera that plays, but if I press this button, I will get exactly what you are talking about. You see notification type and add favorite. If you want to activate or deactivate your push notifications, you have to go into the settings, okay, and into push notifications right here. Once you access it, you can decide, you can choose what notifications you will get from the NVR and what notifications you're not going to get from the NVR. So while we talked, I activated it, and as you can see, I get a lot of notifications. So live, I'm going to show you how I disable it. I just disabled my subscription to notifications and saved it. So basically my phone won't get any messages from now on. But, and I'm trying to regard to the earlier question, if I will disable this option right here, I will actually disable the notification ability from the NVR itself. So the NVR will stop sending push messages to everyone. Okay, so this is something that maybe if someone accidentally stopped that,
if you have the authorities for it, let's mention.
Yes.
And Dudi, if you can also show the activate push notification live recording, that section.
Again?
Go back to push notification setting. Choose one of them. And go down to the third row. Go up a little bit. Yeah, active push notification. This is basically where we will define what will happen when I get a push notification from this device, from the demo room NVR. When I get push notification, would I want to open a live view or a playback, remote playback from the minute the alarm happened? Hope it's clear. Next question, please. Some of them I'm answering you by chat. I hope it's okay. If I see something that I worth mentioning, I will ask everyone.
Antoine asks if you can change setup settings from the mobile app. Quick question is yes, you can. You just have to go to the remote settings right here. Basically, you get the ability to change, and don't remember, you know, but you have access to probably 99% of the settings that you can access from the NVR itself, including disk, network, accounts, and everything. Camera, bitrate, encoding, all of that. And those are all also things we actually created. Amnon said it before. We created an entire explanation movie only about this button right here. An entire movie all about the options that we have here, because really we're talking about a lot of different, a lot of options. This app is very powerful.
Guys, of course, it's very important to explain, you know, we are limited in time. Sorry. So we just showed you the most interesting feature, the most not obvious features. There's tons, and we can have a 5-hour seminar on the NVR and on the app. But with the limited time that we have, we're trying to show you the most sexy one, the most interesting one, but there's tons of more features. I hope we managed to show you some of them today. And of course, High-Tech Security is there to answer any one of your questions. Clyde, you're more than welcome to say our goodbyes, I think.
Yes, thanks, Amnon. So guys, as Amnon mentioned, first of all, thank you very much, David. It was really informative and very professional from your side. Unfortunately for you, we'll use you much more than you think for the future. I'm sure you won't mind. And Amnon, thank you also again for your time. And guys, again, we've got a full-on capable technical team here in South Africa. Some of you are very familiar. All you have to do is pick up the phone and we'll assist you. All the knowledge